What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Major Keyz podcast. I'm your host, Zach Wilson. We have a special guest today. This is the season finale.
Oh, wow.
Season finale. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Shaun Martin.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, everybody?
Man, how are you, bro?
I'm above average. How y'all doing?
Hey, man, can't complain. Just trying to make it do what it do, bro. Just trying to make it do what it do. At the time of this, you just got off of your your last or the time that we're recording, you just got off of your last solo tour. So how was that?
It was good. It was really cool to play small. I played small rooms, with just my trio. Mike Mitchell and J Mac on bass. So it was cool. It was a fun time.
Yeah, bro. I feel it. So yeah, man, let's start from the beginning, and then we'll catch up with everything that happened in the middle. But yeah, man, how did you gravitate towards Keyz? Did you wake up and you just automatically felt gravitated? Did you come from a musical family? So tell us how that worked.
So basically, man, I did not come from a musical family. My family is just regular people. My mother and father both worked at General Motors for 15 years. My mom likes to sing, and my dad likes music, if that counts. But for the most part, man, we're just a regular family. And then one day, I used to love Popeye when I was a kid. And I saw Popeye play the piano. I saw Popeye eat spinach. I saw Popeye, play the piano. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be like Popeye when I grow up. So I started playing. I kind of gravitated towards the piano. I always, had an affinity towards the drums in church. Of course, every kid does. Drums are loud, you bang, So I had, I kind of was leaning towards that direction. But I like, going to the piano, picking out little notes, just kind of seeing what it was. So, and then from there, my mom kind of recognized, that I kind of had a little bit of a special thing. So she put me in piano lessons. And I just studied from the age of 4 all the way up to technically now. Still studying.
Got you. So when did it come easy for you when you were in lessons, or was it like a real learning curve and it took a lot of work? Because some people, it's just once you get on it, it's second nature, or so how did that work out for you?
Playing by ear was second nature. Learning how to read, of course, to discipline. It wasn't that it wasn't second nature, it's to discipline, So, sitting down, you sit down a 6-year-old and tell them to read C, D, E, F, G. So it's gonna take some time. So, but nah, man, it was just a matter of, marrying the two, marrying the ear and, the eyes. That's what the majority of the time took.
Got you. And you were classically trained, you said. Got you. Okay. So you started at 4, and when did you start kind of gigging? No, when did you realize that, okay, I want to do this for real? This is my absolute, this is what I want to do for a full-time sort of career.
Yeah, that didn't happen until later. I would say probably not until teenage years. Yeah, maybe, 14, 15, 16, around that time. Because it was always just fun.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
It was fun. So yeah, as time went on, the older I got and the more girls I could pull at the talent show.
Yes, sir.
It was kind of like, all right, maybe I can make this a thing.
What were you playing at these talent shows? You were playing
what was up?
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, whatever. I played, classical pieces. I played little pop tunes, little Michael Jackson stuff, whatever.
Yeah, you had a better experience with it. Did you win any or no?
Yeah, I won a couple.
Yeah,
you had a better... local, huh?
You had a better experience with talent shows than me. I talked about it in one episode, bro. Like in Perry, Georgia, where I'm from, like the talent shows that I would play at when I was younger, I would be playing the classical stuff, but they would
Mm-hmm.
be like, but clogging, which is like a form of tap dancing or whatever, was a
Mm-hmm.
big thing, I guess, when I was like doing talent shows, and
Right.
they won like every time, and I'm like,
Really?
yeah, and I'm so like I'm like nine, I'm like between like 10 and 12, and I'm playing like waltz and D flat major, and I'm like, what are you? This is, but
Yeah. 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 I mean, talent shows can be tricky,
yeah,
because then you start to ask yourself, well, what defines talent?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And in which they're all forms of talent. They're
absolutely, yeah,
all so. They can be tricky, but I never really hung my hat on. It was just fun. I never walked into a talent show and signed myself up. It was always somebody signed me up for a talent
oh,
show.
fair, same, yeah,
Yeah, I was like, I didn't want to do, but since I'm here, since I'm at the Red Bird Recreation Center, I might as well go ahead and might as well do it. I'm here.
got you. So doing the talent shows and then going to high school. You went to a performing arts high school, right?
Hmm.
Or so what was that like?
Well, it was great, man. It's a great thing to be around like-minded people. It's
Mm-hmm,
a great thing to be around people who have the same desire, energy, and talent as you do, and
mm-hmm.
they all want to coexist.
Yeah.
It's a cool vibe, man. I went up there the other day. I had to go do an interview for uh, this news station here in Dallas, and so we did it at Arts Magnet,
Mm-hmm.
and and a lot of kids were walking to because they recognized me from like Slacky Puppy or whatever. It's like I had to tell them, I was like, man, y'all don't have any idea how good you have it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Every resource you have is right here at your fingertips. Every resource you need is right here. It's like,
Yeah,
like that. They have it really, really good.
yeah, because you went to a school with a couple of names that we would recognize now, don't didn't you?
A lot of us went to the same school. The only people that I went to school with was Nora Jones.
Oh, see,
So yeah,
I didn't know that. Okay.
yeah. Nora's class of '97, class of '96. But then, of course, the school is most notable for producing, your Erica Badu's and Edie
Mm-hmm.
Brickell's, Raw Harborough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a plethora of people, not just singers and musicians, it's dancers, it's visual artists, it's you know theater icons. So.
Gotcha. I've never been to a performing arts high school, so like I don't know. So what's like the average day? Like you have like regular classes in the morning, and then like you have like maybe like ensembles or personal lessons. Like
Mm-hmm.
how does that go?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You might start out with English. Like my senior year. My senior year, man, I had English in the morning. I had math in the morning, which I actually switched. I don't do math well in the mornings.
Mm-hmm.
That level of thinking is not what that is to me at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. Like
Yeah.
I need to do that in the afternoon. By the
Mm-hmm.
time I have lunch and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, mess around, and then you have mini ensemble, then you have jazz singers, then you have jazz combo, theory, then science.
Mm-hmm.
We were on a block schedule, so you didn't have to go to the same classes every day.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
you,
Interesting.
you
All
know,
right.
yeah, you go to English on Monday. Your A day might be English, MIDI ensemble, uh, math, jazz combo, and Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next day you have science. You know what I'm saying? The jazz singers, whatever you do, whatever. So we had block scheduling. And so, but each class would be like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Okay, got you. And then
Mm-hmm.
I think because I did a show with Robert Glasper a couple of months ago, and I was telling him that I like knew you and all that sort of stuff, and he said that y'all, because he grew up in Houston and you grew up in Dallas, and he said that y'all would come, so y'all knew each other in high school, and y'all's jazz bands or like all state bands or something like that would compete together.
Yep. He'd be, we would go back and forth between who's number one, who's number two. It was the funniest thing. But that's originally how we met. He he was bad. He was a year younger than me. He's 97 too. But once he came onto the scene, man, I mean, he's bad boy, but he comes from a musical lineage too.
Got you. But yeah, man, I thought that was cool to know. But yeah, so high school, and then you go to college for music too, or you go straight into work, or like a combination of the two?
Combination of both.
Okay, got you. So what school did you go to? And then like I want to know, like, how did you get to like Kirk Franklin, and how did that start? Like the line from high school and all that.
Well, I was being at Arts Magnet, I met a lot of people in particular for that particular passage. I met a guy named Robert Seawright. The day that I auditioned for Booker T, I met Robert Seawright. He was in the media lab on random Saturday. He was in the media lab doing something for a class. I can't remember the teacher's name. She was crazy. She was funny. And so so we were, so I started asking questions like, how is it going here, and what's it like, and all that kind of stuff. And then we just kind of created a friendship, and so his mom, Arts Magna was already known for their, they had a legendary gospel choir.
Okay.
Right. So at the time there was a teacher named Michael Terrell. And he would let the kids, they could sing, all the churchy gospel songs that wants a gospel choir, but then you got to come back and sing this cantata. You got to come back and sing, So he would let them do that, and then from that spawned a choir called New Deliverance.
Okay.
Right. It's a community choir. It was back in the 90s when community choir was a thing.
Okay, yeah.
So it was a whole high school thing or whatever. And then New Deliverance ended up dissipating. And from New Deliverance, Robert Seawright's mom started a choir called God's Property of New Jack. And this is back when New Jack Swing was like the big thing.
Yeah.
Right. So she started, this God's Property of New Jack, which eventually became God's Property. And we would do everything from like Bobby Jones to whatever. We do all kinds of stuff around the community. Then we started with Bobby Jones. And then Kirk Franklin, who was also from Fort Worth, about 20 minutes down the road, he would at that time he had a big song out called The Reason Why We Sing.
Okay, that came out before stuff. All right.
That came out in 1993. It's been 30 years now, which is so crazy. So he came out with that, and so he was doing all the big stuff, and the Bobby Jones and all that stuff. So a lot of times, at Bobby Jones, we would be the choir that would not only just sing our own stuff, we back up other people too.
Okay.
And so from there, because we're hometown, Kirk always plays Six Flags. Six Flags, they used to have like a summer concert series.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Artists, and so he come to Dallas. Anytime he do the one in Dallas, he called God's Property to be the backup choir. And so that's how that relationship kind of forged, right? And then this one day, he decides he wants to get a label. He got a label imprint, and he wants to record, choirs out of Dallas. And it's supposed to be God's Property, another choir, MD and the Voices. And for some strange reason, it was just God's Property. And the rest is history. And then that's how our relationship started to forge. Because I was still in high school. Yeah,
Oh,
When
okay.
we recorded that Stomp record, I hadn't even graduated yet. I was a
Oh, wait.
senior, but
Oh,
I had graduated yet.
oh man. So now I want to go back. So what was that like almost being a full-time you were doing these big stages like these big shows, but you
Mm.
were still in high school, and what was that like? But also I want to go back, like when did you start playing in church and that sort of vibe? Like did you pick that up or did
Oh,
someone teach you how
oh,
to play in church?
no, I always played in church because I started out playing drums in church.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I started playing drums in church, and then I kind of eventually, after many, why does he have two AirPods in his ear? Oh, it's just one. You know, it's on my TV. I don't. That's strange. But yeah, I started playing drums. Then eventually, I went over to start playing organ. Uh, because I felt like drums were all the girls like the drums. Girls like drummers. But I was like, organ players are just cool, especially like when they be hitting that switch.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's just a vibe, man. Especially like
Vibe.
when you're super low key about it. Like, cause
Mm-hmm.
like you see the like I watch you like when you kind of like direct your band, like you're very like low key about it. It's really just like one look and that's it. And then
Yeah,
you got the other people that
yeah, they
but
do a
it's
whole lot.
but
Yeah,
either way it's cool, I guess, when you get the point across. But you gravitated towards Oregon because it like he was just or they were just cool.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah. So going back, so you're doing all these big shows with God's property, and this is in high school. Did you know, or did you think that, oh, this is going to be a big thing, or is it just like, oh, it's just another gig?
Uh, I mean, we knew it carried weight, but
Mm-hmm.
we didn't know how much weight it would carry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We knew we were working with one of the biggest uh gospel artists, which happened to be our homeboy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
okay. Yeah.
that's why I say it wasn't that it was, oh, we finna just do this. It was like it's Kurt. It's the same Kurt that's Kurt Franklin, the Trinity Temple, DFW Mass. Like we were all running in the same circles.
Yeah. Like that's the homie. Like, oh yeah, he be at the shows. So
Yeah, so it was it was just a thing. And then I see everything took off. But I think the biggest caveat to all of that was the fact that we knew him. He found out about us, but we knew us. Because remember, the majority of us went to high school together.
okay, yeah.
So we already knew, each person's personality. We knew,
Mhm.
we already, I mean, you singing in the community choir on Saturday with the same person you went to chemistry with on Tuesday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, your my prom date was a soprano in God's property.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
skipped school with some of the altos and a couple of the tenors. That's what we did. It was like,
Skipping school. All right. But it is.
you never skipped school.
Bro, I have never skipped school.
You never skipped school, not
Not
even
in
on
high
senior
school.
skip day.
Do we even have a senior skip? Bro, I honestly do not think I did.
Oh my God!
I'm but also if
You
I
you
was gonna
never skip school. Zach, come on. You
Sean,
never.
if I was gonna skip school, what was I gonna do? Where was I gonna go?
I don't know. Kiss a girl, do something. I don't know.
I
That's
was
what you
lame,
got.
bro. I was lame. I was lame. I was lame.
I don't believe that. I need one of your friends to verify that.
You can call my
I,
well, I was like, you can't call my dad, but
I'm about to
bro,
say I can't call. I thought you were say you can call my dad. I'm not gonna call your dad and say, does Zach ever skip school? I'm
bro,
not gonna tell. I'm not gonna tell you to tell on you. That don't make any sense.
no, but I'm like, what? Like, I had no reason to. I had nothing else to do. When I came back, I'd have to
None
catch up.
of us
Like,
did. Nobody had anything to do. That's the whole point. Shoot, find
yeah.
something to do. But it's all good. I'm not saying that to encourage anybody, but don't skip school. I'm not encouraging that.
Now, college was different. College,
Oh
I
well,
college.
in college, you gotta make a choice to go to class. You gotta make a choice to skip
I
school.
know, but no, but anyways, well, you turned out fine. So,
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
bro.
just skipped a little bit. Skip to my little skippy peanut
Let's
butter.
get let's skip Bayless.
Let's skip Bayless.
Let's skip Bayless. But
I can't
all
stand
right,
I can't
so
stand Skip Bayless. But go ahead.
all right, but so yeah, so Kirk Franklin, and so you're pretty much with Kirk for like his ascension into like his superstardom. Like you pretty much stayed with him for the So was your role just playing?
Kinda,
Yeah. So talk about
kinda.
like your role started out with him and how it grew into kind of like what your role is now.
So it started out. It started out with God's property. Then God's property kind of disbanded. Uh, because not being funny, we were in high school, so like people grow up, they get married, they get pregnant, they got families, they got this, everything kind of changes. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. And then around 99-ish, 99, when I get a call that was like, hey man, we got this date in Indiana. Can you come and play for Kirk? It's like, yeah, it's cool. It's me, my homeboy Keith Taylor, my homeboy Peabody, and Bobby was still there.
Bobby Sparks.
Sparks. He was
Okay,
still there. So we went to go do this whole thing in Indiana, and then after that was like, hey, Kirk wants to kind of make out his band like permanently. I'm like, all right, cool. And we just been rocking ever since.
Got you. And then your role kind of changed from keyboard player to producer because a lot of his songs,
yeah,
a lot of his big ones
yeah.
are y'all got to read the liner notes. You see Shaun Martin's name in there. So
yeah, it kind of started changing like around 2003-ish. When we did the Rebirth record in 2000, it came out in 2002. And then the next thing that we did was this thing called Songs for the Storm.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It was like a compilation record.
Okay.
But we recorded it right after Katrina.
Oh, okay.
So this was 2005. Yeah, it was. It was because at the time I was still playing with Shaka. Because I was playing with Shaka with everything that happened with for Katrina or whatever. And I remember watching it. I was in LA. I remember watching people just being displaced. But that was 2005. And then Kurt was like, I want to do this compilation record. And so that started in 2005. And then we started Hero.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I want you to help me produce, this next record. And that was Hero. Yeah, and yeah, so I played with Shaka in let me see, I graduated from college in 01, 02.
Mm-hmm.
So before I'm playing with Kirk Franklin, I'm playing with Erykah Badu.
Oh right? Yeah. So we got to go. I knew you played with Erykah Badu, but I was like, we ain't just gonna skip over. Oh yeah, Shaka. Like that's a Shaka.
Shaka.
Shaka. I was like, cause I mean, like I thought for sure. I was like, man, I ain't got no notes for this. I know Shaun. I don't have to do any research. I know what I need to do. I totally missed that you played with Shaka Khan.
Yeah, yep. I played with Shaka Khan. Like I say, from about 03 till about 06-ish, maybe.
Oh, that's a good run. And this is fresh out of college, or is Erykah Badu fresh out of college?
Erykah Badu and Kirk Franklin were in college. Because remember, we did the whole rebirth of Kirk Franklin. That was in college. That was my senior year, as well as The Mama's Gun was my junior year, senior year in college. So I was like literally going to New York to Electric Lady, then catching a plane and coming back home and going to like my Africans in diaspora studies, then catching a plane back that night and going back to New York, then going to Palmyra Studios out here in Palmer, Texas, and driving back and forth. And I loved it. I loved every minute. At the time, I thought it was whack, but looking back on it, I loved it.
Man, that sounds amazing. Well, because me as someone who wants to be like you, like I hear those types of stories, and I'm like,
Mm.
bro, that sounds so dope. Like, you know,
Yeah, it sounds
I
dope.
had that story like a little bit. Like I thought, like I played with this artist, and I got flown out to California, and then I had to come back and do a final, and I was like,
Right,
but you know,
right.
but that was like the smallest bit. Like that's like when it first started. But man, so and I oh yeah, so I'm a little discombobulated because like I totally didn't know about the Shaka Khan thing. So you get the call for Shaka Khan, and so was it just you playing keys, or was it like a multiple keyboard player situation?
Yes, yeah, yeah. The music director was a good friend of mine that passed away. It's got a Cordell Thickman.
Okay.
And so he had called me up to
Dog, I know who that is. Yeah.
yeah, he had called me up to to play auxiliaries. And it was weird because I was taking over I was taking the other keyboard player's place that also played trumpet. And I played a little bit of trumpet. I played trumpet like in a little bit like in high school, junior high and high school. He
Yeah.
was like, "Man, you mind playing trumpet too?" I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do that.
No, sir.
No, sir, not at all." Like at the time, I was like, "I need to own a trumpet." I was like, "No, dog." And he can play. He's one of those kind of cats like Justin, where he can play keys and then play. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't do that. You know, my brain won't let me do that. But yeah, man, that was a lot. That was a lot of fun too.
Man.
Between playing with Erica and playing with Shaka, that's when I learned that you have to play the part.
Okay. Yeah. Speak to that a little bit.
You play the part. You know what I'm saying? All the embellishments. You got to do all that. Play the part. And the funny thing about Erica is that I was playing the part that I wrote because we worked on we were writing for Mama's Gun record.
Yeah.
You know
You
what I'm saying?
played on Bag Lady, right?
Played on Bad Lady.
Yeah.
Played on Clever. I played on and on. I played on Times of Wasting. I played on shucks. Matter of fact, the funny part about it is that on Times of Wasting, there's a string line that comes in. Times of Wasting, don't you? There's a string line that comes in, and I initially played it on like an XP80 string patch.
Okay.
And then she had Larry Gold go back and do real strings on. I was like, oh,
And it
damn, I wrote
just
that. I was like, I wrote that shit. I'm sorry. I mean,
I'm gonna bleep it out. It's
okay.
Shaun Martin, bro. Do what you want, but also don't do too much.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to do that.
It's all good, bro.
But I was like, oh, this is like that's really cool. And it was the first time that I was actually really able to hear things that I'd written for context, in context. And then after that, the Rebirth album comes out, and the same thing happened. The stuff that I was playing on keyboards as a string line or as a horn part, Lloyd Berry wrote them out as a string line or as a horn part. And I was like, oh, okay, So then I started realizing, maybe I could try my hand at arranging, but I never really got it. I never really got it to arrange.
Okay. Got you.
I can arrange, but like string arrangements, horn arrangements,
it's not really.
It's not really my thing. I can tell you, this should probably do this, but am I going to sit down like a Matt Jones or somebody do that? I'm not going to do it. But it's all good.
But you could like just record it through Logic and just send someone else to write it out.
Right.
Like if you like really wanted to do that.
Right. In which I wasn't that proficient in Logic in 2000, 2001.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that was the whole thing. But yeah, played with Shaka for a minute. It was fun times.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, going back to playing the part, you said you played the part that you wrote with Erykah Badu, and she didn't like it, or
no, she did like it. No. I mean, she coming out of church, you embellish everything. Everything is,
of course.
And then Erykah was like, just give me,
yeah.
Because and the funny part about it is that when she said that, I never we were at rehearsal at Universal rehearsal over in North Dallas at the time in Garland, And when she said that, it's like everything clicked because I've been playing stuff all in the middle, looking for those, remember, you might not remember this, but like back in the day, when you go to a musical and all the musicians over in the corner and you do
Everyone's
something,
doing
like,
that.
woo!
You were looking for that response. Oh no, I get it. Because
You know
I'm sure there are plenty of times I tried to do something and it was like, all right,
yeah,
well, cool.
I mean, and it was like, it was like, hey, just play the part. But it clicked because remember, at the time, the band that was there before we were there, it was just three cats: Poogie Bell, Norman, Keyz, Hertz, and I forgot the bass player name. But it was just three, and those three people, coupled with three background singers, sounded like a whole force.
Wow.
But they all just played the part. I was like, got it.
Yeah.
I got it. And ever since then, like if it's something that like something that requires just play the part. And if they look at you, be like, go off. And go off.
Yeah.
And then come back, come back and play the part. Like Shaka's because I played like a lot of auxiliaries and all kind of stuff. And then she look at me and she be like, go. It's like I gotta find a patch and then just start wailing,
Yeah.
And then come back in and, what you gonna do, man? Play the part. So
and then all of this stuff was live, no click, no stems, no nothing.
No, we had a click, but no stems. Yeah, there weren't any stems. It wasn't no, shocking. We had stems with Erica either.
I figured as much. I just appreciate the live. I appreciate, like, I get it. Like we've talked about this on this podcast before, like doing performances with stems versus without stems. It depends on I think the context of the music, but I can appreciate when bands play like
just off the cuff. Yeah, but I mean, but you got to remember, cats will walk around with a laptop and an interface in 2000.
True.
Yeah. If you did have stems, you were probably playing them out of a 1680, or if you had a whole full production, you might have had somebody running a DAT machine, somewhere.
Now, I don't know what any of this stuff is.
See what I'm saying? Back then, cats to walk up with a MacBook Pro and a Focusrite talking about some, I'm gonna get click out of left and right, and then vocals out of 3 and 4. Nah,
we ain't have all that.
Not at all. You might have had a 1680 and even with a 1680, if you didn't have it routed correctly, it was gonna be rough.
Right.
So, most you have a left and right, and where you can control the 1680 was like a digital recorder with a mixer.
Okay.
So you could control the knobs and that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. Cool. Interesting. All right. So tell me, how did you get into Snarky Puppy? Like, how'd you get introduced to that group? And then how was your role when you first started to how it is like now?
Snarky. So being at the University of North Texas, I would run into my last year particularly. I would run into some of the cats that are now in Snarky Puppy, like Justin or Miles, Mike, Lee, but they were all basically coming in as I was going out. Right?
Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
Because I'm a little older than them, so but the thing about it was they would always make their way to Dallas. So my good friend named two good friends. One's named Gino Igard. He used to have his jam session called The Room. And so at The Room, Gino was also the drummer for Erykah Badu at the time. But at The Room, you could everybody come in. It was just a rehearsal room. It wasn't nothing spectacular. Wasn't no glitz, no glamour. You just show up at this rehearsal hall, and keyboards are set up, drums are set up, bass amp is set up. That's a sticky situation. Come to
Yeah.
find out, but nonetheless, all the stuff was set up in there. You go in there, you just jam, you just go, play through tunes. And it's funny because jamming for us, for some strange reason, I'm learning this too, especially for us here in Dallas. Jamming for us ain't just playing like in one key for like 87 measures, 87,000 measures. Like you had to show up like playing tunes. Now you could arrange a tune, or if you want to play, something my Prince will come in 4 as opposed to 3. You were like, hey, let's do this. I mean, you could go, and everybody kind of vibes to that, but wasn't, you can't walk in like on the B section right here. I want you to do this, and like, nah, dog, you're gonna play these songs, especially, and you got to know the head, know the form, and that was like for a lot of us, that was the cutting ground. As a drummer, you couldn't just walk in and just chop. You better set your solo up. Because somebody, you chop all day. Somebody come in and take your sticks from you and be like, hey man, let's go over there and take a break.
Man.
Because the whole point is to learn how to make music with others.
Yeah.
Right? And so a lot of times the cats are snarky, they would come to the jam session, man. And then we have another one at the place called the Teeny Bar. But a lot of cats that make their way down to Dallas and they hang out with this guy named Bernard Wright, and Bobby Sparks, and they would hang out, and he, take them around different places. And I was like, oh yeah, you're that cat that's in my composition class. And all that shit. Oh yeah, you're that cat down there. And so Snarky Puppy had basically already started out as a group at North Texas.
Okay, yeah.
And then just kind of matured into this big conglomerate.
Yeah.
With, like I say, with Bernard, with Spud, with Bobby, with myself, So it became a whole, it became a whole thing. And at first it was just a matter of me going out just having fun, because we weren't making no money,
Right.
But I wasn't going out to make money. I was literally just going out to have fun.
Yeah.
And then over time, Mike had these rambunctious ideas, man. Having the first thing was that when Spud turned them on to the studio here called Future Audio, with Eric Hartman. And then Mike had the idea of doing, what was that? How We Like It Here. That was Tell Your Friends. Tell Your Friends. Tell Your Friends was in Baton Rouge.
Yes.
Right. So then the first one that Spud was involved with, I think, was The World's Getting Smaller.
Okay.
Right. And then after that was Tell Your Friends. Then We Like It Here. And then, of course, the family dinner thing, Yeah. Like I say, family dinner, and after family dinner, of course, with the Layla Hathaway feature, everything's kind of changed after that.
Okay.
And so, and then from that we did, We Like It Here. And it's so weird. And of course, not Coach Silver. And it's so weird because I'm physically not on the videos for Silver or Family Dinner.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, dang, like Spud, I was like, dang, Spud missed out on, I'm not Spud, my bad. I was like, Shaun missed out on those. Yeah. But
because they did them over weird weekends, because at the time I was also missing music at a mega church.
Yeah.
So they were like, they cut Silver like over Easter weekend. I can't miss.
And it's
Easter
like,
weekend.
bro, like you can't, you can't miss Easter Sunday.
Right.
Sunrise service.
Ugh. Yeah, so it's a lot. So I ended up having to stay back. But they did all the fixing and wishing and everything in between at the studio that at the time me and the engineer Eric Hartman owned. So
you own the studio?
Yeah, well, it was 3 of us, me, Nathan, and Eric. So we all kind of co-owned it together.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay,
so so it was like, so I'm in there with Eric. I'm working, with Eric on the record.
Okay.
Fixing this. Then Michael come down. It's like, fix this, play this here, that kind of stuff.
Got you. So you did a little overdub. Got you.
All right. Yeah. Not a lot though. I mean, it was just like a matter of just helping to clean it up, because all those records they're done without isolation.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what would you think the horns of it? You know,
Mm-hmm.
try this, let's do this. You know. So it's more so that than anything else.
Got you.
So that's how I was still able to be a part of the record without being like, you know, but everything else I'm pretty much on.
Got you. Yeah, I want you to go back and speak to like, yeah, the group wasn't making money because at that time you could be this person like, bro, I've got credits. I don't need to do this. I'm gonna go do a gig that can make money. So like, like what made you be like, oh, well, you know what? I love the integrity of this band, so I'm gonna stick with it, even though we're not necessarily. So like, what made you decide to kind of do that?
It was that because of that. I mean, you know, and it was fun. It was passionate. It was, you know, it was like, you know, I mean, because you're right, I was already making money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, you know, I had a church gig.
Mm-hmm.
I had royalties coming in from Erica Badu. I
Mm-hmm.
had Kirk Franklin, plus local stuff that was playing. I was chilling. So it was
Yeah.
like, y'all want to go out, you know, for 2 weeks or whatever, you know, and sleep on somebody's couch while we play this awesome music. Let's do it. They
Mm-hmm.
paying what, beer? Cool. Let's get it. You know, but that's what it, you know, that's what it was, man. You know, it was just a matter of that was my outlet. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that was my outlet. I didn't have to worry about the sopranos, altos, and tenors. I have to worry about, you know what I'm saying? I have to worry about being a band leader. I always love situations where I didn't have to be a band leader.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
because then I could be just that number, you know, number two. I ain't gotta be Jordan. I could be Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, still score points,
Mm-hmm.
still bring the team, still help the team win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
But the heat ain't on my back. Heat
Yeah.
on your back. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It
You know,
like I get
yeah.
that because I enjoyed when I don't have to really be in charge of anything either, even though it is
Mhm.
cool. And
Mhm.
but you know, I'm just like, hey, this isn't my show, so like
Yeah,
y'all do.
yeah. I've never been the kind of person when I don't have to be in charge. If I want to be in charge, then you know do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't have to be in charge. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I have my own thing where I'm in charge. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You know, but past that, like man, shoot, like even with Kirk stuff, you know, they held me as the music director. I ain't like that's Kirk stuff. I do whatever. Kirk, you want what? Oh, okay, I got you. I'll make it happen. That's it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, past that, I ain't gonna be sitting up talking about some. I don't wear this. I ain't wearing nobody's cake except for I'll wear the cake for my wife and my son,
Mm-hmm.
my mom and my dad and my sister and myself. Past that, I ain't gonna put on nobody else's cake. There's no point because you'll die, and guess what they're gonna find? Somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
So
Yeah.
it's like, nah, man, you worry, you stress yourself out having heart attacks about somebody else's success. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. You know, so but that's another.
No. But I mean, like, it's a great perspective though that I appreciate. But yeah, so leading into it, so yeah, so now, well, not now. 2015, you released Seven Summers,
Mm-hmm.
and you called it Seven Summers because it took you 7 summers to get it done. So, what do
Right.
you think was the apprehension on doing your own project?
Just scared what people might think, scared I might not live up to the hype, if you will. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just fear. You know, fear is a one heck of a drug.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that sometimes you really kind of can't take in moderation. You know, so it's a thing. You know, you're always scared. You know, what if this sucks? What if this doesn't make it?
Yeah.
You know, and then after a while, you just kind of get over your fears.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So
and here you go.
yeah, and then so one of the like really popular songs on the album, The Yellow Jacket,
Mm-hmm.
um, that really like took off. Like, was that anything that you ever expected? Because it's like almost every
Nah,
week. It's like almost every week someone's like covering that song.
right.
It's just like,
But yeah,
and I heard the story of where you got it from, but like if you
mm-hmm.
could tell the major Keyz viewers like how that song came about.
It was basically a whole thing of me being in South Africa and watching some kids playing. you know, and then, you know, watching these kids out here playing, you know, to them was called football, what we would call soccer in the States, you know, and just watching the joy on their faces, you know, watching the glee of just being around each other, you know, and having a good time, you know, and then I just, you know, started writing. Da, 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 da. So I wrote that melody, and it was like, and then one thing just led to another, you know, and here we are. I mean, I never set out to say I'm gonna write a hit. I never did. Even when I do other stuff, oh, this gonna be a hit, because you never know what's gonna hit.
Yeah.
You know, when they went to the studio and wrote "What Did the Fox Say," they know it was gonna be a hit. Gang of Style, they never knew it was gonna be a hit. They was just having fun.
Right. And it just so happens, you know.
Right.
And then I think it's cool because like of all the credits that you have, like that's still the mindset. Because you know, of course, like there are people that can have the same sort of accolades that you do, and it's like, oh, every time I get in the studio, this is what happens. But you know,
right. Yeah, I know. I just want to leave not knowing I didn't waste my time or my money. Leave out with something I can be proud of, you know.
I got you, man. I got you. Few more questions. What's the worst thing that's ever happened to you on a gig?
On one of my gigs, or a gig just general?
Any gig
just
that
any
Shaun
gig.
Martin was playing keys on, what is the worst thing that has ever happened?
Well, when the whole STEM thing started, I hated that. I don't like running stems. I don't like running stems and playing at the same time.
Okay.
You know, because you really, it's not a matter of just pressing the space bar. You gotta make sure everything is stuff. You might have done something to sound check where you might have muted this, or you might have soloed this out. You might have done something. You know, it's like then you go back and it's like you got to go back through and check everything, make sure everything is lining up straight, make sure. And so I think this one time, man, on Apple computers, you get this little wheel.
Oh yeah.
That little color wheel.
That spinning wheel of doom.
The spinning wheel of doom. It was like, I can't get this to work. And then what I do have is contingency plans. So for everything that I have multi-track in Pro Tools, I have a 2-track on an iPad, iPhone, my PSP, my old school PSP. No lie. Yeah, man. I have contingency plans.
Okay.
But I don't really want to go through and try to redo this. Maybe I got that spinning wheel. And Kurt he looking back like, you gonna start the song.
And so, do you know what song this was and when this was?
No, I don't know what song it was. But it was a while ago. I know that. And I was like, yeah, I don't like this stem thing. Especially with a stage full of singers, like Johnny stems for. But I get it though. I get it.
But so did it ever start? So what did y'all end up doing?
I just plugged in my iPod.
Okay.
Gotcha. My old school iPod, left and right. And let Vinny and them figure it out. I don't know what's left and what's right. I know vocals on one side and music is on the other. Y'all figure it out. That's all I got.
That's crazy. Also, one more thing before I get to the last few questions. You did a recent thing with this YMU collective, and I know. So tell me about that, and the importance of instilling what you know into the next generation.
Sure. So yeah. Young Musicians Unite is a collective that my friend Zach is running out of. What's the same name? Is running out of Florida down there, Miami, and his whole thing is to be able to bring young musicians in together from all across, and have them collaborate. Excuse me, with their musical tunes. So this record, each person bought a tune, and the rest of the band from this collaboration, they learned it, played it to their arrangements, their specifications. And all I really did was go in and kind of like, help produce it, help them arrange it, and then they recorded it, and I played like a couple of overdub things here and there. But it's very important for myself and that's the overarching theme for a lot of us in the pups.
Mm-hmm.
Reaching and teaching.
Mm-hmm.
We do like a lot of master classes. We do like a lot of this kind of stuff. We do a lot of just teaching people whatever we know.
Mm-hmm.
And making the point to reach people as best we can. So I mean that was the whole thing, and there was some very, very talented kids, some very, very great pieces, man. So
Gotcha,
came off
man.
well.
Gotcha, man. I dig. All right, so usually we do top 3 keyboard players that and then the top 3 national keyboard players. But since you are in a way a national keyboard player, so top 3 like legends, and then like top 3 current keyboard players.
Top 3 legends.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say Herbie, of course.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to play keyboard or piano.
Keyboard, 88 keys, bro.
88
Ebony's,
keys.
ivories. It doesn't matter. It could be organ. It can be whatever. So.
So yeah, of course, Herbie. Shucks. Dead or alive?
They can be dead. They can be dead.
All right, so I'm definitely going with Herbie. Definitely going to go with Herbie, Bill Evans.
Okay.
Shucks. I've been digging back into Bud Powell a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
Bud Powell. So those are my top 3 legends.
Mm-hmm.
Then my top 3 currents. I gotta say Glasper.
Absolutely.
Dang, it's so many. It's hard to narrow down to 3.
If you want to do 5 to be safe, you can do that.
Shit, I can't narrow down 5. I'll say Glasper,
mm-hmm.
Corey,
mm-hmm.
and you know who I really like on piano?
Who?
I'm gonna get shot for this. But he's actually really, really dope. God, I just got the boy's name. Now I'm getting old. From London.
Jacob Collier.
Jacob Collier.
Bro.
He's actually a monster piano player.
Coincidentally, if you look back at the first episode, I said all of those names. I said everyone. I said, and this is still true. I'm not just saying this because you're here. I said Herbie, Chick, Corey, Glasper, and you. And then I said Jacob Collier. And then I said Jacob Collier as the 6th. I love Jacob Collier on piano.
He's actually a monster. I do like Bill. I do like Bill Lawrence though, because I don't want to disrespect that. But I love Bill Lawrence.
Man, well, I mean, like, there's so many that that we know and like are fans of. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone's dope for the most part. Yeah. But were you in this? Kirk posted a video with Jacob Collier in the studio. Were you there?
Mm-hmm. I was it.
All right. Hopefully he ain't signed on NDA, because I'm trying to get the scoop on what's going on. But
it's working on Jacob's record, but
okay. All right, there we go.
He had already done all the vocals, so I was like, I don't know what y'all even doing. Like, it's kind of already done. So he just had him do vocal arrangements, but he had already done a vocal. So it was like, it's kind of like Jacob's like Tone. Like we went to go do that Tone Out the Box album. Tone had already done all the vocals, so it was just like
subtle flex. Tone.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Like, what we doing? No, Tone. That's a bad man.
Yeah.
That's a bad. Hey man, Tone is a bad man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's like, whew.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah,
man. That's dope. All right. So you're hosting a party, you're hosting a concert. You have unlimited budget and unlimited availability. Build your super group. I know Snarky Puppy's already a super group. Shaun Martin 3.0 is already a super group. But you can have whoever you want on keys, bass, guitar, drums. You can do a horn section and then like a leading vocalist. Like who would you want to see together? This is now with this they have to be alive. But anyone who you could think of. Unlimited budget, unlimited availability.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard one. That's probably harder than finding out who your favorite keyboard player. The reason why I say that is because
Yeah.
Everybody ain't good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get a drummer that's like super killing, but I want to play a shuffle and they can't shuffle, I don't be pissed.
Well, this is whatever. This is whatever music. Whatever you're like curating the show,
right?
So what?
And then
so
the
what?
Show,
yeah.
And I want to play a shuffle, and they can't shuffle. Then I'd be like, "Oh, this is a bad choice," But I will probably do like the Snarky Puppy records and have multiple things for multiple things. So like have like 3 drummers,
Hey,
3
this is your
percussion players.
Do your thing. Who do you want? Who do you want?
I don't know. I can't. I couldn't narrow that down and save my life.
Dang.
And I couldn't narrow that down and say the only person I know I would really, really want beyond the shadow of a doubt is my friend Keith Taylor. He don't ever come out the house. He never comes out the house.
Got you.
I would want Keith Taylor. If it was up to me, Keith Taylor would play everything that I play on for the rest of my life. I'll lock that in. Lock it in. What's that game show? Lock it in.
Yeah.
But past that, I'm not, because drummer wise, I could go with Spussy, right? Because we all grew up together. But I could also go with Mike Mitchell.
And these don't have to be people either. So
no, I know, but that's what I'm saying. But these, they just happen to be people that I know.
Right.
But of course nowadays, the wealth of information is so there. So it's like, but I don't even know who people are. I just see them for a minute on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Because I go anywhere from Lil John Roberts to Stanley Randolph. You know what I'm saying? To it's just a wide, Rex L. Hardy.
It is a hard question. Everyone who's been on here has been like, bro, that's hard to
because it's just so many options,
Yeah.
But so
gotcha.
It's all good.
Yeah, man. But hey, that's the straightforward answer, man. I appreciate it because there's so many ways that you can go about it, depending on like the vibe that you want, depending on who you we've talked about, or we, like my dad and I, we've said like it would be cool to see like Layla, Corey, and like Mark Collenberg, and maybe like Thaddeus Tribbett. I think that would be a cool group. That's just off the top of my head, like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that would be a cool group. Like I've asked everybody, but I actually haven't given it as much thought as how I've asked.
But then it's like, but then from a vocal standpoint, you still got your Susan Carroll, you still got your PJ Moore, you still got your Kenyon Dixons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You still got, so it's like it's just so vast. Guitar players, you get Isaiah Sharkey,
mm-hmm.
Or do you go get, it's just so
vast. It really is. Larry Wilson put a group together with he had Herbie on aux, Corey on organ, and someone else on keys, and he was the front person. So it's a lot of it's just a dream. Maybe one day it'll happen, maybe one day it won't. But
right.
It's just something to think about, see where your head's at, like musicians that you love. All right, man. Last thing. Where's the motivation, where's the wisdom do you want to leave with the listeners, the watchers?
Do it, do you. Do everything you want to do, then die. Wise words told to me. I'm trying to take them to heart. Do everything you want to do, then die.
Got you. One, I'll be saying last question, but like, I could talk to you all day. But like, what, on paper, you could say that you've done almost everything in music, or like you've done so much. like, you know, you've got the Grammys, you've played with this artist, you've done your own thing, you've toured on your own thing. What's next for you?
Being a great dad, you know, staying alive, staying healthy. You know, I mean, I'm never gonna stop doing music, so I can't say my next album or my next. I'm never gonna stop that. But what's next? The thing that I'm perfect is being a great dad, being a great husband, you know, and staying alive, taking care of my health, taking care of, you know, all that kind of stuff.
I got you. I appreciate it. All right, go ahead and
Mhm.
give the people your socials.
Sure. You
Yeah.
can follow me at Shaun Wan, SHUNWUN. I know
Mm-hmm.
it's a weird spelling of my name. It's the name my uncle gave me. You can
Mm-hmm.
follow me with that on Twitter and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, my website, www.shaunmartinmusic.com. SHAUNMARTINMUSIC.com.
Yeah.
And you find all the updates, you know, right in there. And Facebook, Shaun Martin.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep. Y'all
TikTok.
go. Got you. Y'all go grab Shaun Martin's latest album 3-0. Get his
Yeah,
collaboration with the YMU Collective. Get the Grammy Award winning Empire Central.
yeah.
Um, that's it. That's been the first season of the Major Keyz podcast. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Keep pressing.
Congratulations, man.
Appreciate it, man. Hopefully, by the time this airs, they ain't cancel us in the middle. You know, but hopefully
It's all good.
we're good. But man,
Yeah.
y'all keep pressing on. Catch y'all next time.
Yeah. Peace.